the Iceman of Minnesota. Is he related to Bigfoot? Is he just a sideshow freak? Or is he the missing link between Neanderthal and Homo sapiens? Cryptozoology is the search for unknown animals, some of which happen to be monsters. One of the most familiar species is the creature known as Bigfoot. But you may have never heard of the Minnesota Iceman. And that is odd, because in the year 2013, the remains of this creature were offered for sale to the public. In fact, the remains of the Minnesota Iceman are still being exhibited today. May of 1967 is when Frank Hansen first exhibited in the Midwest his strange creature frozen in a block of ice. It was preserved in a refrigerated coffin, and the coffin lid was made of glass. Though the ice was partly cloudy, it was clear enough to identify the creature as neither ape nor man, but a curiosity that was halfway in between. This man-thing was almost completely covered in dark hair, except for the face, the soles of his feet, and the palms of his hands. Coincidentally, 5 months after Frank Hansen's first exhibition of the Iceman, Roger Patterson shot his 16mm color film of Bigfoot in the wilds of California. According to Frank Hansen, he bought the Iceman from sailors in Hong Kong. Sailors who had fished the huge block of ice from the water. But others believe it may have been shot and killed in the jungle of Vietnam during the Vietnam War. In 1968, the remains of the Minnesota Iceman were examined by the Belgian zoologist Dr. Bernard Heuvelmans and American scientist Ivan Sanderson. Heuvelmans and Sanderson both said the Iceman was a real species, heretofore unknown. The muzzle of the beast was flat, like a human mouth, not protruding like an ape's. The toes appear to be those of a human, and not an ape. When their bright examination lights began to thaw the ice, there came such a stench of decay that convinced the two cryptozoologists that the Iceman was not a gaffe, not a fabrication made for a carnival sideshow, but an authentic specimen of a dead proto-human. The Iceman toured as a sideshow during the 60s and the 70s. Then it disappeared for about 40 years. In February of 2013, the Iceman finally reappeared in an auction on eBay. That's when it was sold by a different owner in Cottage Grove, Minnesota. The asking price was $20,000. $20,000. That's when the Minnesota Iceman was bought by Steve Boosty owner of the Museum of the Weird, located in Austin, Texas, where this exhibit is on display now. Sell your silver. Sell your gold. If you cannot afford the trip to Texas to see this exhibit in person.
I have seen some of the experiments shown in this film actually carried out